Hello, welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, I've got a live comm of the first game of 2017 at home to Woking in the Conference North. But before we get into that, let's have a little recap of what started off as a fairly miserable month. If you remember from last episode, we just sort of scraped back into a draw against Dover in the away version of today's live comm, with a sort of last minute equaliser from Jamie Wotton, but we were really struggling. We were in the middle of a run of really poor form. I think this was one of only 2 games in a run of 10 where we didn't lose them. So we had hoped, or I had hoped, that this would be the start of turning things around. It wasn't. Next game, we were at home to Bromley. We lost 3-1. We were 2-1 down at half-time. They scored a third one in the 93rd minute while we were throwing everything at them, trying to push forward. But it was another one of those games where we just didn't look like threatening at all. But then this happened, and this was just bizarre. I had a few more tweaks to the 4-3-3 system that I've been using. I realise I called it a 4-2-3-1 in yesterday's episode. It's not that. It's a 4-3-3, obviously. But I had been resorting to long ball, route one, lumping it forward, trying to take advantage of my big, ugly centre forwards who could just push through people and push them over and score goals. I decided that wasn't how I wanted to play. So if I was going to get relegated or was going to get sacked, I wanted it to happen on my terms. So although we're still playing the 4-3-3, we're back to playing our short passing, possession game, lots of roaming from positions, expression, creativity, and this happened. We're still rubbish at the back, but we scored 5 goals. Matt Godden got a hat-trick. The other 2 forwards, Bishop and Buckley, both scored as well. And we won 5-3 away to Ebbsfleet, which was fantastic. And then we won again, playing the same system at home to Guiseley. We beat them 3-1. And that's where things were left on the 1st of January. We didn't have a lot of games in December. There was a 2-week break, which is when we were working on playing the more fluid system again. But we're currently on the back of 2 straight wins. We scored 8 goals in 2 games. It's fantastic. We've actually changed our board expectations because we're sort of almost mid-table. Rather than it being battle bravely against relegation, I've changed it to avoid relegation, which has given us an extra £900 a week in our wage budget. So we've now got about £900 to spend. So we were pretty much maxed out on our wage budget. But £900 means I should be able to bring in another 2 or 3 players over this transfer window. And I think we've got a good chance of avoiding relegation now. It's all starting to look a little bit more positive. Obviously, we could easily go on another run of 7 straight defeats and be right back in it again. And now I've changed the expectations. If we do get relegated, there's a good chance I'm going to get sacked. So we've taken a little bit of a risk, but I think it was a risk worth taking to be able to bring in a couple of extra players in positions that we need to strengthen. And I'm quietly confident that we should be able to achieve a mid-table-ish finish this season. We brought in a player. We actually arranged to sign him quite a while ago. He's a goalkeeper. It's the first player I've paid money for in this save. Max Crocombe comes in from Oxford for just under £10,000. He's 23 years old. He's already had 6 caps for New Zealand. He looks far too good for playing in the conference. He's been playing in League 2 for Oxford this season. So really happy to have brought him in. 6'4", big, strong goalkeeper, and I think he's going to be a massive difference maker. So he's likely to slot straight into our side and is now one of our best players. And it's always good to have one of the best players in your team be your goalkeeper, because the amount of points that can win you over the course of the season, and hopefully it will get rid of some of these sloppy goals that we've been conceding. So really happy to bring Crocombe in. The board are still very pleased with my leadership, still happy with Colby Bishop, still not happy with Matty Robson. Now the transfer window's open, I'll hopefully try and ship him out, and that would then free up room for probably another player as well, because he's on about £400 a week. So there could be quite a bit of comings and goings to talk about in tomorrow's episode. Then this happened. This is the first time in this save that I've been offered a job interview. Now, as per my own rules, I'm playing this game on full realism. So First thing I did is I had a look to see how far away Cheltenham was from my current house in Boston. If you can't remember where I'm living, look back in episode 1, I showed you a picture of the house on Rightmove. It's 160 miles away from my current house, so it's a 2.5 hour drive or a 6 hour train journey, which is bizarre. So it's going to require a relocation. So if I decide to go to Cheltenham, they're going to need to offer me considerably more money than the £825 a week I'm currently getting from Boston, so I need to be able to pay for the relocation as well. So, of course, attended the interview to see what they had to offer. But then Boston did this. The interview went quite well, but before Cheltenham could offer me anything, Boston came in and said, whoa, 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 where do you think you're going? We like you, we want you to stay. So they actually offered me more money before Cheltenham offered me money. So I've signed a new contract with Boston. I'm now on £875 a week, so it's a £50 a week pay rise. And I've extended my contract for another season. So even if we do get relegated, if they sack me, they're going to have to pay me off now. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off from the decision to raise the wage budget that I made only 4 days earlier. So all in all, from a purely personal point of view, it's all looking pretty good. I'm secure for another 18 months in my job. I've had a pay rise, and there are clubs around this level who are interested in me. Cheltenham probably would have been quite a good move. They're currently 20th in the league, in this division, but they're a bigger club. They've got much more league history. Their wage budget was double ours, which I found out at the interview. So it would have probably been quite a good move, but Boston have given me a pay rise. I'm happy to stay with Boston for a little while. I never really like moving clubs in the middle of the season, although we are at the start of the transfer window, so if you are going to move mid-season, it's probably a good time to move because you get to move some players around. But ideally what I'd like is to have a little charge up the league with Boston, maybe get a top 10 finish. Not got any ideas about playoffs or anything like that, but if we're in the top half of the league, that'd be a bit of a good result. And then maybe find a bigger club, either upper conference national or lower League 2 over the summer. That's my plan at the moment. And that's the league table. So after 28 games, we're 15th in the league. We're on 33 points, so we're building a bit of a cushion. Again, we're 8 points clear of relegation, and we're 4 points above Cheltenham, who were the team I could have gone to. So I suppose you could argue I'm justified in staying. But let's get into today's match, which is against Dover, who are currently level on points with top of the league Wrexham. So in theory, we should get hammered, but obviously we drew with them in the last LiveCom away from home. So let's get into the match. If it lets me, there you go. So I've already picked my team. It's a fairly settled team for us at the moment. So we've got new signing Max Crocombe in goal, making his debut, and then a back four of Tom Field, Carl Piergiani, Jimmy Dunn, and Perry Cotton. Adrian Pazicki is going to be an anchor man sat in front of them, which allows the fullbacks to push on and both be attacking. We've previously only played with one attacking, one support, but I'm happy now that I've got Pazicki sat there, just literally almost becoming a third centre back when we're defending. I'm happy to have both of those players pushing forward and providing us our width. We've then got Tempest and Dixon in central midfield, which that's pretty much been set all season long. They're comfortably our two best central midfield players. Tempest on support and Dixon on attack. And then a front three of Colby Bishop, Isaac Buckley and Matt Godden, with Buckley as a poacher, Godden as an advance forward and Bishop as a target man on support. We're playing controlled, flexible system, and it's been working quite well. So hopefully it's going to work well again today, and the addition of Crocombe in goal should make us a little bit more defensively sound. Is 34 really the only number we've got to give him? I'm tempted to give him the number 2 or something, just to have a weird number for a goalkeeper. But no, we'll keep him with the 34, because it'll upset me if he's got the wrong number on. Woking are strong favourites for the match, so we should get beaten today. If we get anything other than a sound beating, it's another example of the solid progress that we've been making as a club over the last 2 or 3 matches. So let's kick things off. Dixon's picked the ball up early. Is this anything going to come from this? Oh, in fact, Field's got... That was a good cross from Tom Field in the first, 30 seconds of the match. Getting crosses like that into the match when we've got 3 strikers like the 3 that we've got in there is always going to be dangerous. So we definitely want more of that, and it shows how useful it is having those fullbacks pushed forward to get into those crossing positions. And that's another cross from Field. Finds Cotton, who hits it back out to Field again. Field does cross, and Buckley should have done better with that. That was a clear-cut chance, and we should be 1-0 up because that was a beautiful cross, and Isaac Buckley's a better striker than that finish would suggest. Woking are on the attack now. First real attack that they've had, 20 minutes into the match. Probably going to be our first test for Crocombe, and he fails it. Brilliant. That's their first shot on target. And I think our new superstar goalkeeper was just beaten at the near post. It's all going wrong. Right, let's have a look at this. So we've given them too much space, but still, I think, yeah, that the goalkeeper should have done better there. 10 grand on that. Ugh. Right, we've played well. We can still get back into this game. We've had 50-50 possession. We've created as many shots as they have. We've had the only clear-cut chance of the game. And Field is in a good crossing position again, but finds Tempest, who slots it through to Dixon, and now Bishop, and it's 1-1. And that was a beautifully worked goal. That's the difference between playing the short passing game that we've gone back to and the sort of Route 1 nonsense that we had been playing. We would never have scored that goal playing the way we were playing a couple of games ago. So it was good to see us scoring a nice passing goal through the middle. Beautiful goal. Right, Cotton with the throw. Finds Godin. Back out to Cotton. Can he get a cross in? No, but he finds Pazicki. Pazicki finds Field again. Field is getting a lot of space down that left-hand side, and that was another beautiful cross that, again, we should have done better with. Tom Field has created 2 clear-cut chances with fantastic crosses, and we've not converted either of them. We need to do better at converting these crosses because he's getting so much space down that left-hand side, and he is such a good crosser of the ball. And we should be ahead in this match. The crossing from Field in itself deserves to be in the lead. But we need to get the ball back there. Crocombe does quite well. Still 1-1, half an hour on the clock. I mean, this is promising. Woking are joint top of the league, and we've created more chances than they have, far more clear-cut chances. We've had more possession. We're playing really well. Field with the corner now. Out to Tempest, who finds Dixon. Back to Tempest. No, we've lost the ball, but Bishop's picked it up again. Not really the man we want out on the wing. But Pazicki to Tempest. Dixon's not quite going to get there. And that's gone out for a throw. And the attack is over. Looks like we've got one more highlight before half-time. Field picks the ball up and finds Godden. Back to Dixon, who finds Godden again, who loses out. And this is going to be a counter-attack here. No, but we've won the ball back. And we've lost it again. We need to keep hold of the ball a little better in central midfield. We are losing it too much in those positions, and it is going to cost us. But we've found Bishop again here, who launches it forward to Godden, who's beaten his man. Can he get a cross in? It's not really. It wasn't a Tom Field quality cross, was it? But Godden's got the ball again now with Cotton, and Buckley very nearly turns that in. We've had 4 clear-cut chances. We need to be better with our finishing. We have good strikers for this level. I would be expecting, with 4 clear-cut chances, for them to be converting at least a couple of them. But it is encouraging to see us creating so many chances again. Pazicki forward to Buckley, who does win the ball, but then loses out. It's been an action-packed match, this one. We've had 10 shots, 4 clear-cut chances. We've controlled possession. This is all looking good. We just need to go and snatch a win now to make it all worthwhile. And that's always the worry when we're playing against better opposition, that we'll play really, really well, but then they'll just hit us on the break, and it'll all be for nothing. That's kind of how our season's gone so far. Alright, it's all gone a little bit quiet. Woking are just getting back into the game a little bit. They've evened out possession, they've evened out the shots. And I think it might be approaching that time where we need to freshen things up a little bit in attack. But we'll give him a couple more minutes. Pierre-Jean's just lumping that forward. I don't know what he's thinking, but Dixon's found Cotton in a lot of space. And it was a terrible cross, but it has looped in. It was never going to go anywhere near any of our players. It's one of those fluky goals that you get from time to time, but we're certainly going to take it because of all those clear-cut chances that we missed. And that's just beaten everybody because it was so mishit. Yeah, we'll have that. Well played, Cotton, and I'll take full credit for it tactically. If he wasn't playing attacking, he never would have been in a position to make the cross. So I meant that. That's what these tactical changes were designed to create. Oh, and they've just hit the crossbar. And we need to not get too excited. We're only 2-1 up.
I think it is time for a substitution now. I need to freshen things up a little bit. So I'm going to take Buckley off. Oh, I've not got enough strikers on the bench. This isn't the bench that I wanted to play. How has these players ended up on the bench? Right, well, I can bring Moraes on for Buckley. But Moraes isn't really a poacher. What can I do with him? Ugh, nothing really. Oh, it's all gone wrong because I've got the wrong players on the bench. Right. Who else can we bring on? How has this even happened? Right, we'll bring Jack Hartley on for Greg Tempest. He can't really play in central midfield, but we're in a situation where we kind of just need to bring him on anyway. He's not played at all really since we've changed the system to take wingers out of it. But he has been retraining as a central midfielder, and it's 2-2. And it's all my fault for picking the wrong bench. I know what I've done. I've clicked quick pick, tweaked the first team to the one that I wanted to play, but then not touched the bench. And it's such a silly mistake to make. There should have been another striker and Will Summerfield on the bench. That's our normal bench. I don't even know why I hit quick pick. Probably just because I was too lazy to put Crocombe into the team properly. Oh, I'm miserable now because they're going to score again because we haven't got a midfield anymore. I probably shouldn't have made the substitutions because they're both weak in the team. Yes, the rest of this episode is just going to be me groaning about what an idiot I am. Oh, look at all the space they've got here. But Fields picked the ball up, finds Bishop, who flicks it on, but we lose the ball. We need to win it back here somewhere, but that's 3-2. It was always coming. And it's just because of the poor substitutions. I don't know why I made the changes. Someone let me know in the chat. Why did I make those substitutions? Why did I bring Jack Hartley on to play in central midfield? Why did I bring Junior Moraes on to play as a poacher? Why didn't I just leave things well alone? Why didn't I pick a proper bench in the first place? This is depressing. I mean, I don't know why I'm having a look. I know there's nothing on the bench to bring on. Let's have a look. We've got 2 fullbacks. Fantastic. No, I'm not going to bring Barber on for Field because it says Field's had a poor game, but he hasn't because he's put in some lovely crosses. We're just going to leave things alone. Last time I made substitutions, it made everything worse. Let's hope we can find a way back into this game. But I think through my own stupidity, I've thrown away a game that we should have won. And that is a real shame. Lessons learnt for future games. Don't do stupid things. Yeah, nothing's happening now, and it's all ended. Can we score here? Oh, we nearly did. But no, that's it. We've lost 3-2. I'm really disappointed because we shouldn't have lost that game, and it's completely my fault. I need to hold my hands up. Yeah, I do sympathise with you because it was my fault. And we'll leave it there. If you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel so you get to tomorrow's episode, especially because it's a transfer window special and there's definitely going to be some comings and goings. So make sure you tune in tomorrow's episode to see what I get up to. Thanks very much for watching.